All right, welcome to another Sandwich Chamber Spotlight. My name is Jay Patikas. I'm the Executive Director of the Sandwich Chamber. Today we are here at the beautiful Whitewood Kitchens, located at 160 Route 6A here in Sandwich, with owner Michael O'Rourke, who owns it with his wife Gail. How you doing?
Good morning.
Thanks for having us. I know this is one of those beautiful spots in Sandwich. People drive by all the time, and one of the reasons for doing this profile is just kind of showing people some of the beautiful work that you guys do here. I know you got the beautiful black truck and the white lettering on the side and stuff, but we wanted to show a little bit about the inside and some of the work you did. So can you take me through a little bit of the history? I know you were saying off camera that your wife Gail kind of started the company.
Yeah, actually she started the company about 4 years ago. She'd been in the cabinet making business and furniture making business for the last 10, 15 years. And wanted to open a showroom down here on Cape because that's where most of our customers are. We deal with a lot of the local contractors on Cape, for the most part, but we do some off Cape as well. But we found this location, it was perfect for us and for our customer base, a nice easy way to get them to our showroom right on 6A. So it was a nice easy match, and we were able to get in and start making some changes. So 4 years later, it's gone through 3 or 4 different versions of our cabinets, but we've got to a point where we really like what we've got here.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful showroom, and you were saying too that it's constantly changing. So you constantly, is that like everything where things are changing, and it must be like a pain in here, like you got to change like a quarter of the building with a new kitchen setup, right?
Yeah, it's just like anything else. Colors come and go, styles come and go. I don't ever tend to understand what's going to be the next style next year for clothes, but from a cabinet standpoint for colors, we went through all natural woods, and then it was all white kitchens, and then it went to grays, and now we're starting to do some really interesting darker grays and blues and some fun colors.
Is that what's in now, the darker colors?
Some of the darker colors, absolutely. We still do a lot of white kitchens. We're actually doing a lot of combined kitchens, so it's a white perimeter and a dark island, or a dark perimeter and a light island. So they're mixing and matching a little bit more. And we're starting to see a lot more people now actually going all the way full circle back to natural wood kitchens. So because of that, we're always updating our kitchen to make sure it's timely, so that it matches what's out there and what people are looking for. And then also because there's so many new updates in what's available for storage capabilities in these cabinets. So 5 years ago we had a whole different set of storage options that we do today. Today there's pages and pages of storage available for dog and cat food storage, which is this up and coming big thing. So we see a lot more of the specialty type storage units.
Now you said at the beginning that you do a lot of work with contractors, but so is it a lot of them just like, hey, we need a kitchen, can you figure it out and talk to the owner, or do the owners come in here and kind of look at what you have and then work that way? How does that work?
So we tried to set our business up as a little bit of a different model than a lot of other companies out there, where usually it's somebody would say just go to a big lumber company or go find a place to get a design for a kitchen, and then when you're done with it, have it shipped in and we'll put it in. But didn't really support those contractors. So having that background, we ended up building a model around really supporting them. So we have the customers in with the contractors. We usually start at their home, doing measurements, understanding what their current environment looks like, trying to figure out what they want, what their needs are, what the problem issues are that they have with their kitchens today and where they'd like it to be. And then we work with the contractors from the standpoint of, we'll put together some designs where, from our end, we're looking for really functionally elegant designs that not only maximize the space and work really well from a technical standpoint, but are also very functionally elegant. So once we have those done, we sit down with the homeowners and the contractors at the same time. We can come to an agreement on what kind of design they want from a concept standpoint, which allows the contractor to then figure out what their end of that product's going to be, because they're the ones that are going to be managing the flooring and the plumbing and the electric and the demo, and sometimes the install, sometimes we do it. But it allows us to come up with a complete package for the customer, so they know what the full cost is going to be, and then we can start going down the path of things like getting permitting in place.
Yeah.
So
it must be a lot of decisions though for the homeowner, I would think. Like I'm gonna create a new kitchen, but you've got everything. Looking in your showroom, you've got countertops, you've got what kind of cabinets you want. it must be a long process.
There's a million decisions.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do is we've actually come up with a process that we take all of our customers through. And it's a custom built process around really making sure that we walk them through the right way of going through that process so that their kitchen ends up being what they want it to be. Somebody comes in here and they're trying to focus a lot on hardware, and we're not anywhere near being ready for hardware yet. So, we're taking them through, okay, let's talk about design, let's talk about function, let's talk about appliances first, and then we'll talk about, once we get that done and we've settled on design, then we'll talk about door styles and colors and countertops. And then once that's done, then we can go to the next phase, which is tile, hardware, all the the fit and finish type items. But it is a lot of things to make decisions on. There's a million different ways you can go, and you really have to be willing to handhold those customers and walk them through and give them those options, because everybody has a different idea of what's perfect for them.
Well, and you and Gail have to be extremely patient people, I would think, because it's going to take a while for these people to make these kind of decisions. Because the kitchen is like, not, of course you're biased, but isn't the kitchen pretty much the most important room, you would think?
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, of course, but it's probably more decisions than any other room you have to make, and it's one where the family's going to be revolving around throughout the day. It's
a massive, it's the biggest room in the house as far as we're concerned, as it relates to doing the project, because unlike a bedroom or any other room in the house, you have plumbing, you have electric, you've got flooring, you've got tile, you've got cabinets and counters and hardware and windows and ceilings and lighting, and and everything has to work together. So it also is one of those places where everybody always congregates. Right. At least today, the idea of what a kitchen is now is so much different than it was 10, 15 years ago. Right. Kitchens are getting bigger, they're more open, there's less formal dining and more informal type gathering spaces. But and it's a big investment, so there's a lot of anxiety around it. So our job is to make them feel at ease, walk them through the process so that they don't have, we can help them with that anxiety and give them what they want, and put them in a situation where they can tell us, I don't really like that. I'd like to see it in a different way. So we use a lot of technology here to allow them to see what their kitchen will look like in a 3D environment, with walls and doors and windows, so that they can say, you know what, that's not exactly what I wanted. Can we move the refrigerator to this wall and see how that plays out? It allows us to do all that modeling long before we order.
Now, how about a timeline? Is there a typical timeline for this kind of thing? Like, say a couple comes in here and they just want a new kitchen, or you're dealing with a contractor and you start at the beginning. What kind of timeline is that usually? I know it varies.
Every project is a little bit different, depends on the complexity of the project. But on average, it takes us anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 7 weeks to get our cabinets in. Usually takes a couple weeks to a month to get that process to that point where we've gotten people to a final set of plans. So usually what I tell people is, you can, it'll take about a month to get you to a point where we're ordering, and then it takes us a couple months once we've ordered it to get those cabinets back to put them in. But we do a lot with project management to work with them to make sure that the biggest issue for our customers is, how long am I going to be without a kitchen? So, and it's usually, it can be anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and sometimes longer depending upon how complex it is. So really our goal is to minimize that time and maximize working with those contractors to coordinate all the subcontractors to keep them in their kitchen as long as they can, and to have that downtime as short as possible.
Now, obviously when you're going into a house or you're talking to customers, you want to sell a product, but what are the telltale signs for people that are kind of undecided about doing their kitchen? Like, they've had their kitchen for years. Is it a certain time where, or is it just the functionality is lost now? Or what do you usually talk to people who are on the line or the fence in getting a new kitchen?
So there's a couple things. One, it's a fairly hefty investment. So usually by the time they come to us, they've figured out it's a big investment, or they don't really know what it is yet, and we start talking about that investment and what it's going to cost. And a lot of times that the total investment is large. The part that is ours is not the whole investment, because there's a lot of other moving parts. So we'll walk them through what they're looking for, we'll give them some ideas, we'll talk about the budget, what it's going to cost. And we can play with that budget up and down depending upon what they want to pick. But the biggest thing really is, a lot of people are trying to figure out what they want to do and what's next. And so, what we've found in some of the research we've done, any investment dollar that you spend on your kitchen is you recoup the most for that investment more than any other remodel job that you do in the house. So right now we're seeing anywhere from 87 to 90 cents on the dollar you recoup from the investment. So it's one where we tell people it just depends on what you're trying to do and how long you're going to be in the house, and are you planning to sell it, and do you do a lot of cooking, and is this house going to be going to your kids, or are you going to rent it out? And all those things will play into what we design and what cabinets we put in place.
And is it one of those things where, do you find people struggle with it financially, or is it more of just, change? I know people don't like the change. And I know, these kitchens are beautiful, but I think a lot of the times it's just people are just, not into change that much. And it's a big change.
It's a big change. It's funny, 9 times out of 10 when somebody comes in, they're sick and tired of their existing kitchen.
Okay.
And so all they want is change. They want it to be everything that their kitchen isn't today. So that puts a lot of onus on us to make sure that we're able to deliver that kitchen that they want, because it's a big investment. But really, for the most part, what we're seeing in a lot of our businesses is these remodels. We have a lot of the baby boomers that their summer houses on the Cape they're getting to that point where they're selling their houses off Cape and they're moving on Cape.
Yeah.
So now they want to have that, instead of having a summer house look and feel, they want to have a full-time 12-month-a-year residence, and we're coming in and we're putting these, full kitchens in. So the decisions for them are a lot different than somebody who's not sure if they want to update their kitchen or not. But usually by the time they come to us, it's because they're at a point where their kitchen it's not working for them, it's not functional, doors are falling off hinges, they can't store what they're looking to store, and they're really they're at the point where it's time to make a change.
Now, you said something interesting at the beginning now. So there's a change in the kitchen from formal to informal. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? Like, we're getting away from like the bigger tables and doing more of like bar stool stuff? I wanted you to kind of elaborate a little bit more on that, what that meant.
It really does depend on the house that you're in, but what we're seeing a lot more of is a lot less separated formal dining rooms and a lot more taking those walls down, open space, larger islands. You'll still have a large eating area, but a lot of people like the idea of being able to congregate around a much larger island than having a small functional island that you're working on and then a large tables in a different room.
So the gigantic, like Sunday style family tables are kind of one of those things that's kind of phasing out a little bit?
Not necessarily. We're still seeing that, but it's being incorporated more into the kitchen.
Okay.
So instead of it being a separate room that's a formal dining room,
and it's a gigantic room.
it's just we're pulling down walls, we're incorporating it so that you can have a much bigger informal group of people around an island and preparing food and sitting at tables. We're just finding that the kitchens are becoming bigger because they're becoming more of the social network of the house.
Right. Parties.
People are doing work at the kitchen tables or their islands. Kids are doing homework at the islands or the kitchen tables. So all parties seem to revolve in the kitchen, and everybody ends up in there. So, we're seeing bigger and bigger. We're seeing more people coming in asking to take walls up to make their kitchens bigger, and a lot more people to be in them.
Right.
So,
is there any other trends that you'd like to talk about before we go? Anything on countertops? I know back in the day, and I'm probably dating myself, but granite countertops were the rage. Mm-hmm. Is there other stuff that's like really taken over for what people want now?
Yeah, granite is it's a great option. We do a ton of granite, but we are seeing a lot of traction and a lot more people going to a quartz and a quartzite type product. Quartz it's a man-made granite, if you will. It's 93% stone, it's 7% epoxies. And it's man-made. It ends up being a little bit more. It's less apt to scratch. It's less apt to chip. Okay. It's non-porous, so you don't have to seal it, which also means it's hypoallergenic. And they've done a really nice job of coming up with a lot of different looks and feels for it. So one of the big things with granite is everybody loves granite because it's a one-of-a-kind piece.
Right.
You're cutting a piece of granite out of the ground. There'll never be another one just like it. Quartz, they're getting better and better to have each piece look a little bit different. They're all individual in their own way, but it's a lot more durable and a lot easier to deal with. So we're seeing more and more people going the quartz option, and the pricing is getting in line as well too.
That's right. Well, is there anything I missed? Anything, any other thing, any myths, kitchen myths, or anything that we haven't covered?
No, I think the last thing for us, and this is, we've built our business around, a couple of hallmarks, and one is because, and it's really my wife, she was the original furniture maker and cabinet maker. We took a stance when we built this business that we wouldn't put out any cabinets that weren't all plywood construction, that didn't have soft closed doors and drawers, that didn't have all hardwood boxes with dovetail drawers, dovetail boxes. And the reason that we don't is because, yes, I could probably get you into what looks like the same kitchen for a lot less money, but it's not as sturdy of a cabinet. It's not going to last as long. The paint might not stay on it as well. So from our end, we're really focused on putting a real good, high quality product to our customers that's going to last a lifetime. So, we take the extra effort to make sure that it's designed in the best way possible for the space, maximizing the space that you have, and making sure that you end up with the kitchen of your dreams. So it's a big undertaking. A lot of things can go wrong and do go wrong, and it's how we communicate and manage through that process to make sure that the customer's happy, the contractor's happy, and the kitchen is what they wanted to begin with, and functional elegant at the end.
And you guys just opened a new showroom in Falmouth?
We did. We just opened a brand new showroom. Actually, our grand opening was just last week. We had a huge grand opening celebration down there. It's another great showroom, a little bit bigger than this showroom, but with some different options down there. So if there's something that we can't show you here but you want to see, things like, and we have them here, but things like corner drawers or a specialized utensil type cabinet, we can show them different options there that we can't show them here. And likewise, if there's something that we don't have at that showroom, we'll have it here. But just to help support some of those contractors and some of those customers that don't want to travel all the way up from Falmouth.
Yes, we know how it is in the cave.
Exactly. But it was an opportunity for us to expand down there, and we've grown with our employee base has grown such that we needed a second place anyways to support having desks for them all.
It's economic development in the
Exactly.
cave. That's awesome. Well, thank you. So again, we're here at Whitewood Kitchens, which is located at 160 Route 6A here in Sandwich with Michael Rourke. Have a great day.
Thank you.